Alrighty, 3-2, final game. Worst case scenario is a break even. I would like to go 4-2. What do we got going on here? Draw, Menagerie, Hunter, Ninja, the Townsfolk. Blacksmith plus Elder can be a decent draw. Villages, we got Farmhands. Piazza can be a village and kind of draw if it hits an action card. Band of Nomads, you get the favors off of Sycophant. Does not seem like a good village here because there's no good gainers that would trigger it during your action phase when you would want the actions. You could gain a silver off of Town Crier, but that's nothing special. Not the best Band of Nomads kingdom ever. Trashing, Rope, and plus buy, Capital, Rope. Band of Nomads is decent plus buy here at least. But I think Rope is probably enough that you don't really need it. So where is this going? 2-5 probably doesn't make that much of a difference. I don't think you want the 5s in the opening, but I don't think the 3s look that much better than the 2s either. Definitely want some ropes early for thinning. I think given that I probably want to play with a number of ropes, Menagerie is not going to be the main source of draw. I could still see having a Menagerie or 2 in the deck because it's a decent counter to Ninja, which you're probably playing with. They discard your hand, you're more likely to activate Menagerie. But I don't think you want to count on Menagerie as draw. You could build a Menagerie deck. Just have like 2 copies of Rope, 1 Capital, Gold, Silver, some Town Criers, some Merchants, Sycophants. That wouldn't be so bad actually. The biggest argument against Menagerie as the main draw is I think you want multiple ropes, like more than 2. And if you want more than 2, then your Menagerie starts to trip up on the ropes. Maybe you could discard the ropes with Sycophant / the opponent's Ninja to avoid dudding, or ritual the ropes once you've got your thinning done. But otherwise, Menagerie looks like a pretty good draw. The other draw would be Hunter, which seems okay here with a diversity of cards, or Ninja. You definitely want a copy of Ninja, I think. Okay, well, I'm going to open Town Crier Rope. I think I want Rope, but I think I also want Menageries. That's just so much draw. And so I think maybe that means you play with some number of Sycophants, so that if you draw 2 ropes in your hand, you can pitch them and keep drawing. Camel Train seems okay as a gainer at some stage. Do I want to take plus card here? I think the answer is yes. Essentially a 6/7 chance of top decking the Rope, and I'd be happy to see the Rope turn 3 then turn 4. I think that makes it worth it. Okay, this is the second worst case scenario. Worst case would have been drawing the Rope off the top by far. This one's bad because it means I have to cantrip the Town Crier to get to the Rope, and so I don't hit 4, but obviously it could be worse. Alright, Yuri opens the Camel Train. I didn't expect a Camel Train that early. Maybe that's okay. Helps you get more ropes. And yeah, I'm going to trust that Yuri knows what he's doing and take a Camel Train myself. Blacksmiths. Intriguing. That's draw too. The bottom 6, I have 1 estate, 3 coppers, a Town Crier, and a Camel Train. That is unfortunately not going to hit the numbers I want. I would like to play Camel Train, exile Rope, buy Rope, but I can't hit 4 and also play the Camel Train next turn. So I'm either taking 1 Rope here or a Ninja now and hold. I think I want the ropes too much to pass up 1. So I could cantrip this, get the estate off the top, or I could play it, gain a silver for free, trigger Band of Nomads. No, I can't. I've already used that. Forget I said anything. At the time that I thought I had a favorite left, I was going to consider gaining a silver, using Band of Nomads for action, and then playing the Camel Train. I'm probably just going to copy Yuri and take the last two blacksmiths. Did I draw 2 here? Did I draw 1? Probably 2. I care most about hitting 4 probably. If I draw a rope or a copper plus an action, I could buy farmhands to set aside the action. The upside of drawing 1 is if I draw into an action I can play it, but the actions I would draw aren't that great. Mostly just cantrips. Yeah, this is fine. Probably farmhands, right? I think farmhands. I wouldn't naturally buy a farmhands here if not for the town crier being hand, but I think that's good enough to justify taking a farmhands. I'm certainly happy to have a farmhands in the deck. It just otherwise would have been lower priority than additional ropes or a ninja. This turn is probably going to be 2 hunters, I think. If Yuri... No, Yuri's not going to reveal. Oh, I'm going to reveal Elder. Maybe it's 2 Elders, actually. This is a Town Crier that I'm about to play. I could rotate the pile and take 2 Elders. I have 3 targets for them. You know what I should have considered and haven't yet? Okay, now I've considered it, and the answer is no. Are there any other good targets for Elder? Something you always want to think about, and I always forget. But you want to look for other synergies, and nothing else here says choose. You can tell by the art, but here's the text. Trash an estate. Yeah, I think just plus 2 coins. Yes, rotate. Cantrip this. Take 2 elders. Okay, I thought this game would be more about Menagerie, but it has turned into a townsfolk game. Wasn't entirely intentional. Just the way things shook out. I'll take the last one of those, I suppose. And a Menagerie now. This is a lovely hand. What's the next important priorities? Probably acquiring more plus buy, I think, looks like it's going to matter. Only got the 1 pair of ropes. So that could be more ropes, could be a capital, could be gaining a sycophant at some stage. I mean, that's actually a decent card in this deck. Okay. I think I'd rather trash the estate. Trashing copper over the final estate often makes sense in the Kingdom of the Menagerie, because the last estate can't trip you up. But my deck is just less Menagerie focused than it was supposed to be, so I think I'd rather just kill the estate. Okay. I think I'd rather draw with this. I was hoping to draw one of the elders, but no, not in time at least. I needed to draw the elder before I played the last of the other townsfolk. I don't know whether I want to rotate that or not. Probably doesn't make much of a difference. Okay. What am I doing here? I have 10 money. If I buy Sycophant, I can kind of resolve it immediately. Get the favors immediately. Sycophant doesn't cost enough to spend on the Sycophant gain, but I have 2 buys. So I could buy Sycophant with the first thing, buy a thing costing 3 or more, then trigger it, and buy a third thing if I really wanted to. So like, buy Sycophant, buy rope, buy ninja or something. Or, I don't know, Sycophant, hunter, menagerie. Probably I do want a Sycophant, I think. I think I want more ropes. Discard from exile, take plus buy. And kind of leaning towards merchant right now. I can probably gain and play a silver next turn. Maybe that's overly optimistic. Maybe it should just be a second menagerie. Merchant later. Let's go to merchant. This could turn out well, or poorly, depending on what my top card is. I can trash one of these coppers off of the rope. This hand is kind of, I think, part of the case in favor of Ninja, is it's probably not going to end up being worth it because your opponent almost benefits from the attack sometimes because it's going to help them activate their menagerie or draw more off their blacksmith. But just having a draw card you can call from the bottom of your deck helps resolve potential dud hands. So, Elder Menagerie or Sycophant Menagerie? If I were to draw my deck, I'd be happy to do the Sycophant first and save the Elder, but I think my deck is still too uncertain at the moment for me to bank on that. Okay, let's gain a silver and then do card action. Do I want to take plus card here? I might actually. I think I do. Not rotate. I've still managed to whiff, alas. So I'm probably buying a second Sycophant and more menageries. Oh wait, no! Oh, that was terrible. Oh, this turn is worse than I thought. I can't do the thing I did last time because I only have the one buy, so I can't do Sycophant, buy a thing, buy a third thing. I buy Sycophant, my turn ends. Oh no. Yeah, what a disaster of a turn. I want more ropes, but I don't want more ropes when I have none of them in play. I don't know, it's a hunter maybe? A piazza? Let's take piazza. This turn is also not guaranteed to be all that good. Like normally when you've just had a dud turn, it's because all your draws in the bottom half of your deck. But my draw is Blacksmith and Menagerie. My Menagerie is going to have a hard time because I got 2 ropes in hand and I've already seen the Sycophant. And my Blacksmith is going to have a hard time because I didn't find the Elder. I mean, I can draw some out here, but it's not going to be that much. I thought I was in a fine position, but I think by the end of this turn I'm probably going to be losing. Up to this point, we were in a fairly similar spot. Like these are non-identical decks. I think I would have taken my deck. I have more Elders and fewer farmhands, and I think Elder is the better of those 2 cards. I think by the end of this turn, you're able to have more than equalized. How did his early turns go? Rope, Camel Train. Interesting. He didn't choose to spend his favor turn 2. I would think that you do. Again, I like finding the rope turn. I guess with Camel Train rather than Town Crier, you're only 5/7 likely to find the rope. Because if rope bottom decks like it did for me, then Camel Train can't draw it. And if you buy Town Crier turn 2, you can't trigger Band of Nomads. So maybe it doesn't work quite as well from Yuri's perspective to spin the favor. You're still 5/7 likely to find rope turn 3. And I would take that over 5/12 at the cost of a favor. I'm surprised he didn't spend a favor turn 2. Thanks, Piazza. Oh, man. I think the same argument for taking 2 cards applies here. I can buy a farmhands as needed. Sycophant or Town Crier? I think I can take a second Sycophant. Oh man, Yuri's got all the menageries all of a sudden. I blinked and the menagerie pile is empty. Buys menagerie, exiles menagerie. Yeah, he just took 3 menageries last turn. And as was established, Menagerie is a pretty good card here. Well, I'm going to take a Town Crier then, because there's a realistic scenario where I end up with what? One Menagerie? I have one on my exile mat and one on my deck. But if Yuri takes the last two here, that one is never coming off my exile mat again. And with one Menagerie, Sycophant's going to become a much worse card. If those Menageries are there at the end of Yuri's turn, I will absolutely be buying them. If not, we're going to have to figure something else out. I think like losing the Menagerie split, what, 8-1, on its own would not be the end of the world. I think it's the best draw here, but it's not the only draw. Hunter's fine, Blacksmith is pretty good, Ninja would work. The problem is mostly that the reason I'm losing the Menagerie split isn't that I prioritized other things, it's just that my deck stopped working randomly in the middle there. So I don't have any countervailing benefits to show for it. Except my single merchant. Please leave me the last two Menageries, Yuri. Nope. Okay, I have one Menagerie. That's not great. How far are we from piling out? Probably not close enough for any sneaky pile outs or anything. Not sure exactly what my goal is this turn. Maybe take a bunch of capitals and then hope that that leads to some sort of pile out on the next turn. I mean, Yuri would presumably see that coming and score a bit. Let's go Piazza. Is this turn already over? My deck doesn't do anything. Oh, wait, I still have one more rope. Here we go. Okay, there's a chance. I'm going to trash this Sycophant. I don't need the Sycophant in my deck when I have one Menagerie. I'm going to draw a Blacksmith off the top. Like this. That'll do it. Next best thing. Okay. Perfect. My deck is a well-oiled machine. Probably don't want a second silver, I don't think. Let's play this for plus coins. Maybe I should have done Elderon, Town Crier, silver, and a coin. And coins. Maybe that was better. I don't know. Okay. So, how do I win next turn? That's the question I want to ask. I think it's going to involve taking the capitals. I'll take plus buy here. The trouble is, I have one rope in play this turn. I had 3 ropes in play last turn, and I do have some coppers on my deck, so I can't count on that Menagerie to draw again. I kind of just want to lower piles a lot, somehow. And then hope Yuri can't pile out, and then I do. How many buys does Yuri have? I have 4 ropes, which means Yuri has 2 ropes, one of which is in play. So Yuri has 2 buys, but he has a bunch of favors banked up. So as many as 6 buys? I guess more, like, if Yuri could make enough money, he could buy Sycophant, which would net increase the number of total buys. Plus he's got a camel train. So I'm wondering if I lowered farmhands and rope here, for example, could he finish off that pile? Maybe. How much money does his deck make? Last turn he hit like 12 or so. Then he added 2 golds, like 18. Maybe is an estate pile out going to be possible? That's the pile threat that would score the most total points. But it requires a lot of buys. I'm contemplating, like, if I bought some farmhands here, could I do estates and farmhands? So I have 6 buys plus a favor right now. It's like 7 buys. Camel train is 8. I'm going to take at least 1 farmhands because I want to set this aside, I think. If I take another sycophant and another farmhands, then I think theoretically I could do farmhands and 8 estates next turn. But then 4 sycophants and 2 farmhands looks imminently doable for Yuri. So that's probably too risky. What if I just take a province here? Make sure Yuri can't pile. But then, like, I kind of need the game to end next turn. Buying 2 capitals is not the sort of play that suggests you want the game to last more than 1 more turn. If I take a province here, is it possible for me to pile out next turn? I think that would look like exile of farmhands, and then farmhands and sycophants would cost 18. I could do 18, and I think I have enough buys for that. I think I'm just going to take a province. I don't know. I think the answer is I'm probably losing this game, but gotta try. And the problem with trying to win on a pile out that's not the estates is Yuri can just take a province. And then it gets a lot harder from there, because then I need to do all the farmhands, sycophants, and a duchy. And Yuri's deck could probably even just do double province and be fine with that. And then I don't really have a response to that. Not sure which order to resolve Blacksmith versus Piazza in. If I didn't already have draw cards in my hand, I think the correct order would be Blacksmith first, then Piazza. To maximize the amount of cards off the top of my deck, I'd check for additional draw. Here, maybe there's scenarios where I want to do Piazza first, in case, for example, I hit... Do I still have a sycophant in my deck, or did I trash it? I think I might still have 1 sycophant. Or is that not true? I think I might have trashed the only sycophant. Well, like, one conceivable reason would be if I played a sycophant and reduced my hand size, I'd want to play Blacksmith after that. That might be the only card in my deck that net reduces hand size. So it probably doesn't make too much difference. Alright, what you got, Yuri? He's got 14 money already. He hasn't even played the treasure. I know there's 2 golds and a rope in that hand, so 21 money and 2 buys, plus the favors, plus the camel train exile. Not sure what else is in the hand. The 3rd gold is on my exile mat, and he doesn't have a silver as of yet. I don't know. Does he have a town crier? Maybe he can gain 1 here. All of his sycophants are accounted for. The last one is in the trash. Don't know what the rest of those cards are. Maybe another farmhands or 2. He's got 4 in play. I think I have 2 farmhands. If I'm right about that, then he has 1 more. So let's see, 2 golds, a rope, a farmhands. I feel like he's got a town crier left. I think he's got one of those and he hasn't played it yet. Could be wrong about that. He might have some coppers. I have 3 coppers. There's 8 in the trash. Okay, it's a bunch of coppers. So 3 coppers, 2 golds, rope. Maybe he doesn't have a town crier. Maybe he does. I feel like it's farmhands. Gains, farm. 3. Maybe I have more than I thought. But 1 turn 6 instead of side Town Crier. 1 instead of side Elder. Okay, now I got 3 farmhands. He's played all his farmhands. But it's also not a Town Crier. What's that last card? 2 gold, rope, 3 coppers, and what am I missing? It's not a miller. It's an estate. He has an estate left. That's what it is. We've cracked the case. Okay, so he's got 21, 24 money, 2 buys, and 4 favors. Can you win off of that? Piling sycophants and farmhands costs 18, which is not enough because he has to buy a province to take a points lead. So I don't think he can win here. I think the simplest pile out would be exile farmhands, buy sycophants plus farmhands using the favors, and then buy a province. I think he's 2 coins short of that. I doubt there's an easier pile out. The trouble is, with that amount of money, I think if he just takes 2 provinces, he is totally safe from whatever my deck can do. And then I don't really get another turn. Those capitals are bust here. 2 provinces would not leave him safe from an estate pile out. I don't think I can do that. The fact that he exiled capital makes it look like his plan is double province capital. That's what I'm expecting here. He also hasn't played all of his golds yet, now that I'm saying that. So maybe he plans to ritual a gold? Ritual gold effectively costs 7 because you have to not play a gold to do it, and scores 5 points. So a decent amount of points, and the upside of that is instead of having 2 golds and 2 provinces in your deck, you have 1 gold, 1 province, and 1 curse, which is less likely to trip up your menageries. So that could make sense. Province, capital, ritual of gold that costs 8, 12, 17, and then you could buy something nice for the road. I don't know, a miller. Province, capital, ritual, miller. Alright, we got province, capital, ritual. Will I go 4 for 4? He doesn't want to lower farmhands. He doesn't have a silver, but he also can't gain a silver, so merchant doesn't look great. Could conceivably be camel train for pile pressure, but that doesn't sound very good. Ninja is a draw card that you could call in a pinch. I think it's between Ninja and Miller, I would think. And I think Miller looks like the safer of the two, but Ninja looks reasonable as well. Maybe Ninja's better. You have an excess of actions. Oh, we're going way back. Don't want the capital. Okay, double. This line suggests to me Yuri believes in me more than I believe in me. And he was worried about an estate pile out. Because the line he took would not be safe against estates and farmhands. The line he initially took. This is now enough points that even an estate pile out wouldn't be enough for me to win. And I sure ain't hitting 40. So I'm not exactly sure what my deck is. Thanks, Piazza. Meant to accomplish this turn. Well, at least I get to activate Menagerie. That's something. Probably need to use the Elder on the Blacksmith to make sure I draw. And by make sure I draw, I mean still not draw. There's 2 ropes on the bottom, and don't know what the last card is offhand. 'Tis mystery. Another town crier. 2 ropes and a town crier. Well, can't imagine that I'm winning here. I missed a good chunk of my plus buy and some of the payload. More capitals. Capital or bust. The trouble is I just can't draw all of this. Hunter. And I'll ritual one of these. I don't know why I'm pretending I still got a chance. Maybe just some miraculous dud can save me here. The problem is Yuri's deck has a million menageries. I think if you're Yuri and you're looking at a hand with like menagerie and 2, does he even have? Yeah, he has 2 provinces. Menagerie and 2 province. You probably just trash a province, because the risk of dudding is higher than the risk of having 6 less points. He's thinking hard about something. The bold decision to trash a copper. Okay, well, that looks like a real turn. So this should probably be the game, I would think. Either farmhands and sycophants or farmhands and ropes look pretty doable. Alrighty, let's see what we got. 14. I'm going to guess the last 5 cards in his hand are 2 cap... Or did he unexile the capital? No, he never took that. So it's probably like 2 golds, a rope, a copper, or 2. Is that enough? Sycophant and farmhands only cost 18. But maybe the plus buy situation works out awkwardly, because the sycophant plus buy thing from Band of Nomads can't trigger on itself. It costs 20 if you exile a sycophant instead of a farmhands. Does that make the numbers work out better? Exile sycophant, and then you can buy 3 farmhands, not spending any buys. But you can't buy 4 sycophants when you have at most 2 normal buys. So I guess you can't do sycophant farmhands because of the Band of Nomads limitation. What about farmhands rope? Exile farmhands, then you need 24 money. I don't think Yuri has 24 money anymore because he ritualed the gold and didn't take the capital off the mat. So I think the answer is Yuri cannot win this turn. Unfortunately, Yuri can score a bunch more points. So I think if you're Yuri, you're just doing like 2 more provinces and a duchy or something. And then even if I managed to hit triple province, which I doubt, that wouldn't be enough for a win. Suppose he's going to think hard about it, because there's some uncertainty with my deck. I very optimistically shoved a bunch of capitals in it, so maybe if I draw a bunch of money that he's got to worry about. But I think any answer he ends up arriving at is probably going to be plenty safe, especially given my lackluster starting hand here. I think that the place this game went horribly awry was just that one shuffle. I think we were in a similar spot going into the mid-game, and then there was one shuffle that was just total disaster, 2 straight turns of nothing, and I think Yuri pulled away with the game there. In particular, that was the shuffle where he just got all the menageries, and then my deck was left high and dry. I couldn't even unexile my poor menagerie. Okay. So unfortunately, even 3 provinces and a duchy wouldn't tie here. So we got to do more than that. Should I trash this rope? Probably so, right? It's 1 coin and a buy, but the value of making this menagerie draw has to be higher than that. There we go. Okay. Okay, so how much would I need to win here? 24, 29, 31 money? Easy peasy. I've got 31, right? Maybe less than that with a ritual. That was just counting triple province, duchy estate. Maybe there's some line where ritual takes slightly less. I've got 18 money, 24 money, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Wait a second. 18, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. I'm kind of disappointed that this merchant is in play, because I really want it to work out exactly, but annoyingly I think I have 1 money more than I need. Yeah, too much money. What a shame. Yuri, I am so sorry. I don't know how on earth that happened. I don't know where that came from. Just put a bunch of capitals in the deck and hope for the best. I didn't believe in myself. Apparently Yuri believed in me and was playing very cautiously. And even with some cautious plays, it wasn't enough. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I guess it's a good argument for not resigning, because I thought that game was resignable for a very long time. I don't even think Yuri botched it. I thought he made some reasonable in-game decisions, and that just came out of the blue. Okay, I'll take it. 4-2.